All right, welcome in on this Tuesday. Dennis Fithian here, Maize and Blue reviews of Michigan football recruiting today. We are live weekdays at 1 o'clock talking about the latest in Michigan sports. And today, a very special day as we bring on the Maize and Blue reviews recruiting editor, and it is Zach Libby, who is with us on this Tuesday, July the 7th. Zach, what's going on?
Not much, Dennis. The new Rivals 250 came out. Big news regarding quarterbacks, what we're going to talk about. So it's a big day for sure.
Yeah, Rivals 250. I would love to be in the room one time. Maybe it's something that either you can do or you could figure out. Maybe you and I together we can see how that sausage is made one time and see how the rankings change over the year and get in there and talk with the men behind the scenes, ladies. And how they end up ordering that. That's got to be quite the war room, right?
Yeah, I can only imagine what they go through. Like, it's got to be a week-long process. Our national analysts do such a good job in evaluating these recruits and finding out who's the best in this class. There's more to this job than just writing articles and sticking a camera in their faces. There's a lot happening behind the scenes. So, they do such a good job that, it makes our job easier in evaluating them and making sure where they stand put.
If you're out there and you have any questions, you can use the feedback. If you're on Clubhouse and you have a question or you have a comment where you wanted to go online, we have the ability to take your calls there. If you're somebody, it's like, what, Clubhouse? You can sign up in like 30 seconds on Clubhouse and you can be on. And we can take your calls just like that. So you got any recruiting questions, use the feedback. We can already see that LTM getting in. And I don't mind. There's a lot of people that just roll out the Go Blues, and that's fine. We don't mind that. It's better than, some of the alternatives that you might see that, that come through. Okay, before we go any further, let me tell you about the Maize and Blue Reviews sponsor and support for Maize and Blue Review is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped's Performance Package is the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Their products are precision-engineered tools. Join me and over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer, 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code TMBR at manscaped.com. I just over the weekend went to a graduation. I went to a graduation party, and along with a little cash, actually it was a Venmo that I sent. Hey, kids like the Venmos. They like the cash apps. I also have on the way the Manscaped's Performance Package, that Ultimate Men's Hygiene Bundle. I got one of those. It's great. Your graduate, high school, senior, college, whatever, they are going to love you. So take advantage of this offer. 20% off, free shipping with the code TMBR at manscaped.com. 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use the code TMBR and unlock your confidence. And always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. All right, Zach Libby is with us, and he already mentioned it, some of the things that we are going to be talking about. We got some camp notes. We've got that Rivals 250. We're going to talk about some of the top quarterbacks, but a local signal caller, and I have not discussed this yet with Zach, so I am interested to see what he is going to say about it. But we have a local QB who is ready to commit, and Zach, that is one CJ Carr. Now, to just set the table for you, and if I take your name off the picture for a minute, and maybe I take both of our pictures off, he is set. I saw that his mom put this picture up on social media yesterday that Carr is going to make his announcement this Thursday at 7 o'clock, and he has a host of teams, including Wisconsin, LSU, Georgia, Michigan State, Notre Dame, and Michigan that he is interested in. And I think most people know the situation here. If there's ever been, I don't know if there's ever been more of what you would say a Michigan lock or a Michigan man than CJ Carr. His dad went to Michigan and played football, played quarterback for the Wolverines. He met his future wife and CJ's mom at Michigan. She's a Michigan woman through and through. Both of his grandfathers, his one grandfather, they're both in the College Football Hall of Fame. His one grandfather still holds all the Michigan records for interceptions with the Wolverines. And his other grandfather won the national championship. So with that, he is an automatic, Zach, to go to Michigan. Am I right? So the Wolverines should be able to lock CJ Carr up and get the good news, 7:00 on Wednesday. What do you think?
You'd think, like you said, you got your grandfathers, you got your dad. It's just from the name alone, it just seems like a lock. It's not even given his proximity, considering he's from Sayin. It's I've talked to Carr maybe twice or three times. He was adamant when he said he wasn't a lock to Michigan, and I believed him. I think he got frustrated with the fact that people would just assume that he's going to Michigan. It plays into the fact that kids these days are more worldly. They're more they're more inclined to see what's out there in the world, especially when it comes to recruiting. Hence the fact that he has Georgia, LSU, Wisconsin, Michigan, Notre Dame, along with the in-state schools. If you'd think that he would be a lock, but ultimately it's going to be a Notre Dame commit. He's had a Marcus Freeman and Tommy Reese have done such a great job with recruiting quarterbacks. Dante Moore, for example, which we'll get to in a little bit. Their Carr has visited there many times. He camped there last week, and then he made this final posting maybe like a day after. Now, there's any expert that has been either with us, with Rivals, or any other recruiting source has predicted Notre Dame, and I have the same. I think Tommy Reese, like I said, has done such a good job with connecting with him, getting to know his family, and just keeping him as a priority. I always thought it was going to be a lock for Notre Dame to either get Dante Moore or CJ Carr. And this just makes the dominoes fall, considering he's going to commit this early. And then at this point, he's going to be a Fighting Irish in 2 years. I wouldn't call it a loss. It is, considering the name, but there's so many other quarterbacks in the 2024 class that we'll get to as well, that have Michigan as high on their list, that are even better than CJ Carr. That it's not the end all be all for CJ Carr. There's still a good shot for landing a good quarterback in that class, and it makes we'll get to this in a little bit too, that it makes it easier. It makes it easier to land Dante. There's been circulation about the two not going to the same school. I don't know if it's about competition or they just want different things. But it makes it easier for Michigan to land Dante, considering that that CJ is going to Notre Dame. So
now wait a second, Zach. If CJ was growing up and he had two cats, one was named Maze and the other one is named Blue, did Michigan pursue CJ Carr? Did they put all of their eggs in his basket? Did they want him? Did they woo him? Did they court him? All of those things, because last night, and I saw Josh Henschke, our publisher, putting in his forecast that Carr was going to announce to Notre Dame. I actually didn't see it in writing from you, but I just heard it from you just a minute ago. What about the Michigan fan who's absolutely shocked that Michigan can't land CJ Carr? Did they want him?
They did, but there's also other priorities. They're not going to put there's so many good quarterbacks in that class that they're not going to put their whole priority on CJ. You'd think, hey, the Michigan legacy close by, given the obvious, you'd think, but there's so many good quarterbacks in that class. Like I said, that there's there wasn't a need to make him a priority, in my opinion. They can make him as a top QB, but they've had other priorities, and we've had it on record that they are. Um, there's a good possibility that they could land another quarterback. We'll talk about that in a little bit. That has really high on Michigan. There's a couple others that have visited, and they have expressed their high interest in Michigan. So considering a loss isn't a big deal because there's so many others vying for Michigan, and Michigan fans can feel comfort knowing that there could be another 4-star or 5-star in that class that could go to Michigan. So
they'll feel comfort if they get them. If they don't, that won't be very comforting. Sorry to cut you off, Zach. I've got 3 pictures. One is Carr. This is not for this upcoming class, which is Dante Moore, who you referenced, who we are going to talk about in a minute. But there are 2 other highly touted signal callers, and you mentioned that the Rivals 250. Let's look at how these guys are ranked, and I've got the 24 pro-style quarterbacks in front of me on the screen. Jaden Davis is a QB out of Charlotte. Here's Julian Sayin, number 2, and there's CJ Carr, the top 3. Now, does Michigan have a shot at either of these guys that are in front of CJ Carr on Rivals list 1, Davis, and 2, Sayin? Any kind of shot with these 2 guys?
That's what I was alluding to. Jane Davis, actually, there's been some good news. Actually, Adam Freeman, Rivals national recruiting analyst who covers the East Coast, actually put in a future cast for Jane Davis to go to Michigan.
When did he do that?
I did that yesterday.
Okay.
This comes on the heels of Jane coming on a group visit with a couple of his teammates who are 4 and 3 stars. They went on a group visit with Jonathan Goodwin, who is actually a former Michigan offensive lineman.
That's right.
Yeah, no, Jane, when he got the offer, there was rumors they wanted to visit as soon as possible. There are also rumors that, there's the fact that Ohio State landed 24 commit in Dylan Raiola, and Jane was vying for Ohio State. So maybe there was a little bit of a, payback, I guess. But no, Adam actually said that he talked to a good source, and he said Michigan is the team to beat. And if you're looking for the best signal caller in the class, it's Jane Davis. You can add Julian Sayin in there as well. There's a reason that they are 5-star recruits. There's hints that Jane may go up for the barbecue and come back for a fall game. So I'm really looking to see if Michigan can able to land him even as early as this year. So that's why I'm saying don't be upset the fact that CJ Carr is going elsewhere, because there's others like Jaden and Julian that are arguably, in my opinion, better than CJ. That would be a better addition.
Well, if Michigan is somehow able to get Sayin or Davis, then that would make people, I think, feel a lot better. Dylan Raiola, I believe, is the son of former Detroit Lions center Dominic Raiola. I have heard that the posse on Broadway is going to stay down there in South Beach. Any of these other QBs, Michael Van Buren, Walker White, I mean, any of these guys are on Michigan radar? Or are they really going after the big fish in the top 2?
Yeah, Michael Van Buren is one to look out for as well, considering the St. Francis pipeline. He actually visited back in this early spring. He told me when I interviewed him that he really got to know Matt Weiss really well on his visits. And the fact that, Biff Pogge's on staff, which makes the connection that more sweeter. Michigan has done a really good job with recruiting St. Francis, even without Biff Pogge on staff. So he's another one to look out for. I've seen him live at the Rivals camp, and, he can really spin the ball. He has a good frame on him, and he's really accurate with his throws. So he's another one to look out for.
Okay, some feedback. One from LTM who's just saying he is a Carr. Can you get a star or 2? If Deion Sanders or Urban Meyer say a 2 star is on the radar, they will be a 4 by the end of the year. Now he's saying he's still a Carr. Doesn't matter. He still should have been coming in for Michigan. Here's one from Dees who says, it's a question for you, Zach. Why is the 23 recruiting class off to such a bad start? Go ahead.
It's not. People think they are because they've seen what Notre Dame has done, what Michigan State's doing, what Ohio State's doing. Michigan has played this game for a while and taking it slow and letting it nurture. Official visits have just started. The big weekends are this weekend and the next one. Dozens of recruits are going to be showing up. I wouldn't worry. I know I said last time that it's April and it's nothing to worry about. It's June. So give it time, let the official visits nurture, and then when the fall and national signing comes, everything will be on track. There's nothing. I wouldn't call it a bad start, not in the slightest. There's still time, and especially with the fact that, like I said, official visits are coming, and they'll give recruits more of an opportunity to get an in-depth look at what Michigan can provide them.
I understand the patience card, and I agree with you there, but here we are on June 7th. What if it's not July 7th? What if it's August the 7th, and we're sitting here, and I'm like, Zach, what's up with this 23 recruiting class? Would you say that you are ready to panic at that point? At what point are you ready to take a look at it?
Since this is my first time covering recruiting, I would, and from people that I've talked to, I wouldn't worry until it's National Signing Day and there's 6 recruits. Wow. So, if it comes to that point where we're still sitting on 6, which we won't, but
I'm going to give you a little, for somebody who's been a couple decades, not on the recruiting side, but, just connecting with the fans. If we're sitting here on August the 7th and they're sitting at 6, it is panic time. I'm going to tell you that. But that's just, you're the expert. I'm just telling you what I'm thinking.
I would love to see Michigan get a big boost in their recruitment. With these officials coming, there's so many that are, we've predicted that there's so many that are going to pick Michigan with these officials. Not going to name names, but I'm just going to say that once the barbecue hits, once fall camp hits.
When's the barbecue?
Late July, probably. They haven't set up a date yet.
I love barbecue. Can the media go to that?
They cannot, unfortunately. Michigan has a tight lock on media coming to their events, which is why we can't go to the camps, which is unfortunate.
But you were able to go to that Ferris State camp last Thursday, right?
Yeah, but it's not Michigan hosted. Like, it's just a satellite camp. But if it's something hosted by Michigan itself, media can't come.
Wow. No exceptions? I know they got one June the 23rd. Michigan, you can't go to that one?
Cannot.
Wow. Well, up on the screen, the 24 QBs from Rivals I have, as they have them ranked, not left to right, right to left. That is Jaden Davis, who I didn't know there was a forecast in for him. They're the number 1 pro-style quarterback out of Charlotte, North Carolina, a forecast in for Michigan. How about that? Julian Sayin, ranked number 2, right there in the middle. He's been to Michigan. I remember Harbaugh was down at the Masters when that was happening. That's when he visited. And there's CJ Carr, who's going to announce. So if you go just on the ratings, Michigan's they're going to do fine. It's just too bad the kid from Salin's name isn't CJ, Truck or something like that. We wouldn't sit around and gnash our teeth so much, but that's the way it goes. All right. How about we get to this recruiting class? LTM mentioned him. Dees has mentioned him here, that we are looking at Michigan's class, and they have 6 players. There is a quarterback who, just over 2 weeks ago, was in Ann Arbor, and that is Dante Moore. I took this picture off of your Twitter page, and I liked it, Zach. I hadn't seen this one of Dante walking down the Michigan tunnel, which is pretty cool. I had seen one of him standing, which I also have in this feature. But what about Dante Moore? Carr going to Notre Dame, what the forecasts are on Thursday. What's this mean for Michigan and Moore?
Yeah, like I said before, I think if one went to Notre Dame, the other wouldn't. I think it definitely narrows down Dante's choices, if whether he would enjoy the competition and head to Notre Dame or take his services elsewhere. There's Oregon, LSU, Miami. He's going to Texas A&M in next week.
Oh no!
Yes.
Oh, sorry, I say that out loud.
No, I mean, he went unofficially a few weeks ago to Michigan. That's where the picture was taken. It was time for Dante to get more one-on-one time with Matt Weiss, to really bond together and have a tight relationship. There's been talk that it could be better between them, and I think the unofficial visit really helped them connect up more on a personal level, which is what you need for a quarterback coach and the future quarterback. It's even if it wasn't unofficial, the fact that he still went up there, took his own time and really sat down with the person who's going to be teaching him for the next 3 to 5 years. Really says something, and he looks good in that maize and blue, considering that photo. So no, it was good for Michigan to get the needle moving and vying for his interest, and it just makes it that much easier for Michigan to persuade him to coming to Michigan, considering that CJ won't. So no, if Michigan was in a better spot when in the May visit, then it makes it even better, considering that CJ is going elsewhere. So the right steps are in the right direction right now.
Well, there's no pressure on you, Zach. I just recently learned that a high-ranking Michigan official watches and or listens to this digital podcast. I say that because I'm looking at this picture. 20 years ago, I put in the suggestion when I'm working on the radio in Ann Arbor that why doesn't Michigan have maize and blue on that tunnel on the ceiling? They could put, they could do all kinds of different things. They could put a mural they could put pictures of the different teams, and it has stayed kind of like a penitentiary white or something, like an asylum white. They've added a few things here or there, but I said it 20 years ago. I said it 10 years ago. I'm going to say it again today. Before I leave, not today, but before I leave, I would like to look down that tunnel and see. It seems like an obvious thing. You get great art students. You got all kinds of different people that can go over there. They could do a hell of a job. You might even get an advertiser or two in there. Do something with that tunnel. You might not be able to tell right here that it's just all white, but and maybe there's a reason. Maybe the reflection of the sunlight coming in there, to give it to Dante Moore. But really, that's neither here or there, Zach. We got more feedback for you. So let's just take some of these. LTM says we are always in this position. Just because we finally beat Ohio doesn't mean the stars fall. We have to do it year in and year out and win a bowl game. I'll read more. You can jump in at any time. Yeah, seems like recruits have not been impressed by last year's performance. Too bad we can't keep the coordinators for longer than 1 to 3 years. That hurts recruiting. And LTM following up saying we got to keep the coaches. Jim staying. Now go beat MSU by 15 or more. And win a nice game down in Columbus. Just because our Cinderella season was magical doesn't mean we are top tier. All right, so a couple different things why the people are seemingly in a little bit of disagreement with your patience card. What about the lack of coordinators, and why isn't there a boost from winning the Big Ten?
I mean, with coordinators, there's so much transition when it comes to coordinators. I mean, people go for better jobs. People upgrade from position to coordinator. People go from coordinator to head coach. Like to keep keep a position coach for so long is an anomaly. I mean, I'm just thinking of like Fred Jackson, for example. But to the coordinator thought or the position coaching isn't an issue, considering what I've heard from recruits about their time with the position coaches and getting to know them on a personal level. They truly love what Klingsdale and Newsome and Bellamy has done. They're doing everything right to get Michigan into a national power like they are, and vying for these guys countrywide. And then with the season, it's you can't to not blame Harbaugh's flirtation with the NFL in February. I think there's a lot of negative recruiting from other colleges when it comes to that. So maybe that's what hurt them in the winter and early spring. But considering that Harbaugh is back and he's set on record that he's going to stay, has really erased that doubt. There's a reason why there's at least 15 coming this weekend and next. There's a reason why they had 2 recruits on officials this weekend, and both of them said they had a great time. That's why I'm not worried. There's no rumors about coordinators or position coaches leaving. There's no rumors anymore about Harbaugh leaving. It's just a matter of for these recruits to believe in what Michigan did last season and hope that they want to be part of something special, which is obviously going back to the college football playoff. Now, everything that Michigan did last season is still helping. Recruits really see that. Obviously, Michigan plays on national TV every week, so they see how much success Michigan had last season, and they want to be a part of that. Recruits want to be somewhere where they can, win the big games, play Ohio State every year, go to Indianapolis every year and play for the Big Ten title. So they know that Michigan is a place that they can do that. So that's why I'm not worried. These kids have patience and they understand that this is a long game. And if, they've been doing this for 2 or 3 years, and once they get a final experience with these officials and more unofficials for the ones who just got recently offered, then they'll notice. So December is still quite a ways away, so we'll have time for sure.
Well, let's take a little gander. We already have talked about the 24 quarterbacks, but if you look at the 23 quarterbacks, I'm going to put them up on the screen. And what I have just noticed by a quick scan is that the majority of these guys have already committed. There's at 16, Florida State's got one. Michigan State with a 4-star. I guess it looks like a 3-star commitment, just that they cut off a kid out of Austin, Texas. Iowa's got a 4-star. You keep going to see if which one of the top guys are still undecided. There's one in the top 10 from Georgia. He's probably waiting for a Georgia offer. There's one at 7 who hasn't decided. And, these guys are getting close to the 5-star range. Alabama's got one. Tennessee, I think, paid $8 million for their quarterback at 4. At least, that's some of the talk, multi-million dollars. And now we're getting to the really heavy hitters. And when you get to the top 3, this is why we spend so much time talking about Dante Moore. There's Dante Moore. He is at number 3. USC's got the number 2 ranked quarterback, according to Rivals, all locked up commitment-wise. And Arch Manning is out there. And, we'll see where he ends up. But there's Dante sitting there right at number 3. And a month ago, it seemed like Dante Moore was more of a pipe dream. But since that visit, Zach, it seems it doesn't seem like a pipe dream anymore.
Yeah, I mean, if they put all their, they put all of their emphasis on Moore for obvious reasons. There hasn't been really one in this class that, there's been a second option. Brady Drogish out of De La Salle was talked about being one, but he's committed to Cincinnati. There's also the possibility of, let's say, Jaden Davis does commit and the Rivals future cast is true. There is a possibility that he could reclassify. There's also, I mean, that goes for any other quarterback in the 24 class that goes to Michigan. So, there's options if Dante doesn't go, but there's so much emphasis, like I said, on Dante that looking for other options might have to be reclassifying someone from the 24 class up early.
What if I had a question that would be a dream scenario of Michigan getting Dante Moore and then getting I'm sorry, I don't know where that's coming from. Then following it up and getting Jaden Davis the following year. It would seem like a very dream scenario. What's the probability of that happening? And if it does, what would the timing look like in terms of commitments from Dante Moore and Jaden Davis?
Yeah, I mean, Dante hasn't really put a decision on when a commitment date, so we don't really know when he's going to. That could lead all the way to National Signing Day. It could be summer, or it could be the fall. So I think the longer that it takes, I think a lot the advantages for Michigan. If he wanted to commit elsewhere, I think he would have done so by now. I think that's the overall feeling, especially with Notre Dame. Like, he probably could have committed last month or April if he really wanted to, considering that he's holding his cards to his chest so closely. And the longer that it takes, it's in Michigan's favor. No, it would be a great, considering you have JJ McCarthy for the next 2 years, 3 years, and then you have Dante and then Jaden. That's quarterback you right there. It goes to show how good of a recruiter Jim Harbaugh is, and it goes to show the type of the improvement that Matt Weiss has been doing. So, that's a strong possibility, and it makes it more exciting considering that you have a good 6-year span of 5-star quarterbacks coming through your system. So that's why I'm saying don't be so upset, honestly, that CJ is going somewhere else, because the consolidation isn't really a consolidation; it's actually an upgrade. So don't sweat yet, because there's good things happening right now.
It's a good thing to remember, and we're talking about recruiting, but the good part to remember is, you mentioned JJ McCarthy, whether it's going to be Cade or JJ over the next 2 or 3 years, and that actually could be both of them all of that time. Those are good things to remember. Michigan is doing pretty well when it comes down to the QBs. Okay. What about the kid? You went up to Ferris. What was that like? What stood out to you? Anything big that you can tell the people that are watching? You think, that would be something that they would want to know.
Yeah, so Harbaugh was there, obviously, and so was the rest of the staff, like the entire staff outside of Jay Harbaugh. The big thing, obviously, was the fact that Harbaugh spoke to the media, which was the first time since like the first week of spring camp that he actually spoke one-on-one with the media. He said a lot of things considering NIL. Mike, I can't say his last name, Sansarelli, with his So on defense, his improvement on defense, Ronnie Bell's injury updates. This is all top of my head. Cam Good and Olu, their impact in the transfer portal. JJ and Cade's, fight for the starting job in August. It was a 20-minute conversation, but there was a lot going on, and there was a lot of good updates heading into this fall camp. Some of the recruits that were there that were big time that fans should follow. Obviously, Samaj Morgan was there. He's firmly locked in with this commitment, and he's looking to add more, including Dante, who both are really good friends. Couple Tennessee guys, Boo Carter,
Boom.
Boo Carter, 4-star Rivals 100. Played some wide receiver, but he's projected to play defensive back if he goes to Michigan. 3-star Demetrius Bell. I think he deserves a bump in rankings. Really solid frame, can catch passes in tight windows, and is a fierce and aggressive route runner. Nicholas Marsh out of River Rouge, 6'5", 200 plus pounds. One of the best wide receivers to come out of Michigan for the 24 class. Top 5, obviously. He's really keen in on Michigan and Michigan State, so that's a good one to look out for. Imarian Stewart out of Chicagoland. He just got offered not too long ago, and is looking to make a visit soon. And the quarterbacks, Isaiah Marshall, a 24 out of Southfield. He has a Michigan offer. He's not as good as CJ Carr, but another 4-star to come out of Michigan. And then finally, Belleville's Bryce Underwood of the 25 class. If there's a quarterback that's going to be better than Dante and CJ, it's going to be Bryce Underwood. He's 25, so we got a couple of years, but he's one that's going to be probably the best one in the class. If you think of Arch Manning for this class, it's going to be Bryce Underwood for the next class.
Where's he from?
Belleville.
Oh yeah, I think I saw a video of him like doing a no-look pass. Man, he doesn't look like he looks like he's 25 years old.
Yeah, I know. He's still 14 too, so it's no, he's tall, he's athletic, he can make passes with ease. He's got a cannon of an arm. He won the state championship as a freshman for Belleville last year, so clearly he has some talent. And now with more progression and more filling out, he's going to be the best one to come out of this class in a long time.
Yeah, well, he was wearing Jumpman cleats when I was watching him throw the ball, and he was throwing the ball to Samaj Morgan, which there was the Michigan connection to me. So. Yeah,
no, they all play for Sound Mind, Sound Body in the off season. So all these big time Michigan recruits get to know each other really well. And Curtis Blackwell, the founder of Sound Mind, Sound Body, has a really good relationship with Michigan. So that only helps. Now it's, Bryce has visited a couple of times. He's not that far away from Michigan. So now there's once he gets to campus more and gets to know Matt more, and once September 1st hits of next year and they're able to contact recruits a little bit more directly, now Michigan has a solid chance. So I'm looking forward to see when that happens in a couple of years.
Zach, I don't know. Did you watch any of the baseball yesterday?
I saw I'm not a baseball guy, but I did see the second base, like the replay of the second base outs. I sound stupid, but yeah, the tag at second, I saw that was called safe.
Yeah, that was a tough one. And you have replay. It's supposed to be irrefutable, obvious video evidence. That's when you want to go and overturn something. I would put that very close to that category. So very close. I mean, people say absolutely was in that category. It looked like it was in that category to me. Irrefutable video evidence, and then it didn't happen. So, and also Michigan in that same inning got squeezed on a pitch that looked like it was right down the middle. The guy's like, ball. That would have been it too. So I don't know. Tough way to go. Still a really fun season to get down to those elimination games. What Bakich is doing. Great job. Great job by you. We want to tell everybody to. This is, Zach coming on here once every other week, whatever. We like to have him all the time, but he is constantly putting stories up on the Maize and Blue Review. That's why you should join us. One of the reasons, it's one of the big reasons, though. Let's not sell it short. Go to michigan.rivals.com. You get those recruiting questions answered all of the time, night and day. Also, all the places on social media that we are. And, Zach, we certainly appreciate your time. Have a great day and get back to it. I know you've got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, I got about 12 stories and drafts, so we got to hammer those out. So we got a busy day.
All right. As always, thanks for joining us. Have a great day.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
There he is, Zach Libby.